Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Spanish time! We are going to continue our conversation about the subjunctive mood. And we're going to talk about the use of subjunctive we call these verbs of hope. So we've already talked about the use of the subjunctive with impersonal expressions. So we're going to add to that kind of umbrella of the subjunctive mood. So let's get started. All right, so we've got kind of a connection to English with the subjunctive. So hold on tight. We're going to talk about some sentences in English, okay? So when you want someone to do something for you in English, we use an infinitive. I want John to arrive on time, all right? So in English, we just the infinitive. I want John to arrive on time. Notice we've got two subjects there. I want and then John, okay? And then if you express what you hope someone does in English with the present tense, you say it like this. I hope John arrives on time. Notice, again, we've got the present tense. Same thing. Two subjects, I and John. And then we've got the present tense. So then finally, if you express what you wish someone would do, then we use that conditional tense in English. I wish John would arrive on time. I wish my students would do their homework. Right? So even though in English we use, depending on what we're expressing, we use the infinitive, the present, or the conditional tenses, in Spanish we are always going to use the subjunctive for these expressions. Okay? We are always going to use the subjunctive. So our English formations and our Spanish formations are just slightly different. Again, notice that you've got three different verbs: want, wish, hope. Your subject, your first subject is I, your second subject is John, but you're expressing that same idea. You want him to arrive on time. So let's break it down to see what it looks like in Spanish with the subjunctive mood. All right. So first of all, querer means to want. So quiero que John llegue. Espero que John llegue. Esperar means to hope. So querer we know means to want. Esperar means to hope. And then finally, desear means to wish. Deseo que John llegue. Okay? So those are the verbs that you're going to need to know. And then you've also got another phrase, ojalá que, means I hope, but that idea is like God willing. It's a phrase that's often used in Spanish. So it doesn't really, it's always going to be ojalá que in that I hope or God willing. Okay? So those are the four expressions that we're going to be focusing on with the subjunctive as opposed to impersonal expressions. So here's our little formation or our formula, if you will. So you're going to use your verb of hope. I want you to stop and think, what are our four new expressions or verbs of hope that we're using? Marinate it. Marinate it. Okay. Then you're going to add the word que. And then we've got our different subject or our second subject. And then you've got your subjunctive conjugation. Boom. There you go. Boom. Okay, verbs of hope and the subjunctive. Yay! Okay. So here's an opportunity for you to practice. I believe I've got three sentences that I would like for you to translate into Spanish. Again, remember that in English, we express these ideas a little bit differently than what we do in Spanish. Okay, so since you've got two subjects, we don't know that this action is going to take place or not. That's one of the reasons why, or that's why we're going to use the subjunctive. And if you have any questions about that, please make sure you jot them down. So I'm going to go ahead and give you your three sentences. I would like for you to hit pause, and I really want you to try thinking of our formula to go ahead and translate these sentences into Spanish. So go ahead and hit pause, and we'll go through your answers here shortly. All right, let's see how you did. We hope Maria represents our school. Esperamos que María represente nuestra escuela. Representar is our verb. And remember to form the subjunctive. We start in the yo form, drop the o, add the opposite ending. I wish our team would win. Deseo que nuestro equipo gane. Again, when our verb ganar, opposite ending is gane. And then you want the company to invest in the product. Tú quieres que la compañía invierta en el producto. Okay? Now, remember that, or I noticed that on some of your presentations that there are people that wanted to use this subjunctive when they're expressing want. I want you to do something. So in this case, we're going to use the subjunctive. We're going to be working on this quite a bit, so if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. That's all I got for you. Thanks.